a meaty stir fry, breakfast meal prep, a chicken sandwich, and the best side dish I think you can make on the griddle. Here are my 4 favorite recipes from 2024. This burrito meal prep, breakfast burrito meal prep, was surprisingly simple, and I really like the convenience of being able to pop one of these in the microwave in the morning for a quick and easy breakfast in about 60 to 90 seconds. I kept this as simple as possible by getting pre-diced onions and peppers, but if you're going to cut them yourself, you just need a medium onion, medium red and green pepper. Then I add about 5 ounces of baby bella mushrooms, which I washed and diced up. The package is 8 ounces, but I already used some for a patty melt. That's how I got to 5. 8 eggs with a splash of milk added to them, and then scramble them up real well. 2 cups of frozen shredded hash browns, which in my opinion, every good griddle owner should have laying around in their freezer at all times. I like to get my griddle around 400 degrees, which is usually medium, for about 10 minutes on preheating for my camp chef. Then I'll put my sausage down and flatten it out. I really smash it down into the griddle like it owes me money. You know, I want to create a lot of contact with the surface of the griddle so it gets a nice crust, which creates flavor. After about 7 minutes, I flip it over, and that's what we're looking for. Now I go ahead and throw down my onions and peppers. I'll add a little bit of salt to them so that it pulls out the moisture. Spread them out thin so everyone is touching the griddle. Mix together my peppers and onions, then the frozen potatoes go in. Next time I do this, I think I'm going to put the potatoes or hash browns down right at the beginning with the sausage. They didn't get as crispy really as I want, and they can handle the heat for that long, so learning lesson here. The sausage is done, so I cut that burner off, all the way off. Diced mushrooms are last because they will cook the quickest. You could also use spinach or add other veggies to your liking. Once everything is cooked, I'm going to mix it all together, everyone in the pool together. Then I'll spread it out, make a little sort of like well or dam sort of situation with the veggies, just kind of a hole in the middle there. And then I'll put a little bit more oil down and pour all of my scrambled eggs right in there. I use this trick for fried rice as well, and it's fantastic for 2 reasons. First, you've contained your eggs and you don't have to chase them all around the griddle, or heaven forbid you lose some of them in the grease trap. Now they're all just contained right there together. Second, this area of the griddle should be a little lower in temp because you just had all your veggies on there. So this makes it less likely that you'll burn your eggs. Even though the temp is probably lower though, this is a good time to go ahead and turn your burners all the way down to low or possibly even off. You probably have enough heat on the griddle already to finish up this cook and cook those eggs. I will salt and pepper the eggs and start to pull them into the middle as they cook. My goal here is to wait until they're about 75% done, then add the sausage and pull everything off the griddle. They'll keep cooking once you pull them off the griddle, and you're going to freeze and then reheat this burrito, so the eggs will definitely get cooked through eventually. I probably waited too long to pull mine, honestly. They probably got like 100% done, but next time I'll pull them early. Here's the sausage, and we'll mix it all together and then bring the sheet pan over, put it on there, take everything inside to cool for 10 minutes. You want to let it cool before you build the burrito so that there's no condensation in your burritos once you freeze them, and then that moisture will freeze. So that's why you got to cool them. These are 9-inch tortillas, and I will put 4 at a time in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. This will make it easier to fold up the burritos once the filling is inside. 2 to 3 spoonfuls of filling and a pinch of shredded cheese. I got pepper jack, grab whatever cheese you like. Then a small spoon of salsa, and fold and roll. I fold over top, flip the sides in, roll. Now the filling is tricky. If you do 3 big scoops, it could get hard to roll. So you just got to find out what you like, especially depending on the size of your spoon. But I'd start smaller because I don't know about you, but whenever I do something like burritos or omelets, I always put way too much in there, and then it makes it harder down the road. Now I had 20 tortillas and plenty of cheese, but I ended up with 16 burritos and only a little bit of cheese in each one because my helper turned into a taste tester about halfway through.
That's only a little bit.
I know, I need more of the cheese.
I had a lot of filling left over, and depending on how you fill them, I think you could get about 24 burritos out of this recipe if you really wanted to. But Again, it depends on how much veggies you use and how you stuff them. And maybe you don't want to add mushrooms, so you would have less filling.
This has always been a really popular griddle recipe. I don't know why it took me so long to get around to making it, but it did not disappoint. I'd highly recommend the bacon fried corn. The only thing I would change is instead of Cheetos at the end, I would use tortilla chips, and it just was really, really good.
First thing to go down is a pound of thick cut bacon that I chopped up. I pop it in the freezer for about a half hour before I cut it. This made it easier. Put our bacon on the griddle and turn it on. We're trying to get the griddle to about 375. That's roughly 10 minutes, a little above medium on my griddle, my Camp Chef, but yours could be different. That's why I recommend everyone get an infrared thermometer. I just throw the bacon on while it preheats and then go inside and grab the rest of my ingredients. Keep stirring the bacon and mixing it around until it cooks all the way through. This took me about another 10 to 15 minutes for the bacon to cook all the way through. I also moved my bacon all over the griddle just to keep adding seasoning and get that delicious bacon grease all over my griddle top. Then we move the bacon to the side and start to scrape off some of the grease. I didn't want it like covered and sitting in pulled up bacon grease, but there's still plenty of bacon grease on this griddle to fry the corn, and we're mixing the bits back in, so that's why I scraped it. Down goes the corn. Now I haven't done this before, like I said, but Todd did mention that if you add the corn too early before the bacon's done and start mixing it, it makes this like gelatinous mess. So I was careful to make sure that the bacon was pretty much all the way cooked through, and I moved it to the side before I added this frozen corn. Also, I'm mixing up the corn to make sure that the bacon grease does get all over each corn kernel. Then I spread it out thin and just let it sit for like 3 to 5 minutes. Come back after that time and flip everything over. Try to make sure I'm frying both sides. I'm not tossing this the whole time in bacon grease. I'm just kind of trying to let it sit, then flip it, then let it sit another 3 to 5 minutes. So after about 10 minutes, when the corn is thawed and it's started to fry up in that bacon grease, I add 1 tablespoon of garlic. Well, actually, it's jarlic. It's garlic from a jar because I was being lazy. But anywho, I also added my seasoning. Todd uses the Blackstone chili lime. I use the tahini, which I've seen before, but I hadn't used. It was really good, and it has that chili lime flavor, salt to it. You know, I think I pronounced it correctly. I'm not sure. I looked it up. That's what it said. I almost went like full hillbilly on there. I'm like, hey, pass me some of that Tajin, Billy Bob. But I think the H is tahini. Anyways, you mix that all together, then cut the heat and add the chopped cilantro. I don't want to cook the cilantro, okay? I'm not trying to do that. That's why the heat's off. You could remove the corn and mix the cilantro in the bowl, but it just felt easier to do it on the griddle with the 2 spatulas rather than in a bowl. There's more space, and you know, who doesn't want to get the old 2 spatula toss going on, right? So after the cilantro is mixed 1-2 minutes tops, I'm going to pull everything off the griddle, start putting it into my white bowl. Now here's where we dress it up. Todd likes to present this individually in glasses or small containers, which would be great for a party. Like I said, mine's going into my big old white bowl that I bought just to try to impress people on YouTube. So we'll go with the corn mixture first, make sure we get it all in there. Then some queso fresco, which like crumbles up really, really nice and is a good cheese if you've never used it. Slices of lime. Then he put flaming hot Cheetos on there, and my wife doesn't do flaming hot, so we had to do the regular old Cheetos that crunched up and put on top. Some Mexican crema, which I don't think I've bought this before. It was just real creamy. It's not a ton of like flavor either way, just like a liquidy sour cream almost, kind of is what I thought. Then some hot sauce, some Cholula garlic. So I see why this is so popular. It's super easy, tastes great, but also honestly, we're frying stuff in bacon. I mean, I think I could fry up some packing peanuts and bacon, then top it with this stuff, and I'm sure it would still be delicious. So regardless, it's definitely in my top 101 griddle recipes. Something's going to have to get kicked out. If you want to follow along as I do my quest for the best 101 griddle recipes, sign up for my email newsletter below. I'm sending out recipes and updates every single weekend.
Cowboy stir fry is fantastic and very customizable. Is that a word? I'm not sure. I did the lazy man's way. I got some pre-cut veggies and whatnot, but you should definitely try this and put in whatever you like. Make it your own cowboy stir fry.
Start inside with the 1-inch thick ribeye. It said New York strip on the package, but it was next to the ribeyes, and I think it kind of looks more like a ribeye to me, but I mean, I don't know, who knows? I mean, you can get a great look at a steak by sticking your head up a bull's backside, but wouldn't you rather just take the butcher's word for it? I'm going to generously salt and pepper this thing and let it sit out at room temp for about an hour before we cook. A little Johnsonville beef smoked sausage that will coin up. Get whatever smoked sausage you want. I just grabbed this beef one because it was on sale and I can't resist a good sale. We spent like 4 years living very lean to pay off all of our student loans. So now I grocery shop like your grandma who went through the Great Depression. We can't afford not to get this. Check the temp with my ThermPro 2-in-1 thermometer. We're around 350 degrees and rising. I like this because I can check the surface temperature of the griddle and I can use the probe later to check the internal temperature of the steak, hence the 2-in-1 features. I use this on almost every cook. Some bacon up going down, which is just straight bacon grease that I'm putting these frozen red skin potatoes in. I've used these multiple times. They're already seasoned and they're super easy and turn out great. That's also why it's a lazy cowboy stir fry, because I'm cutting corners, not cutting a lot of vegetables. After you mix the potatoes in the pig drippings, spread them thin and let them sit on one side of the griddle. Then I crank the heat on the other half of the griddle and get it close to about 460 to sear this steak. Here's our steak, and I'll rub the fatty side on the griddle before we sear. A good steak is like a good husband. It's better with a little fat on it. And let's listen now as I put this bad boy down. Yeah, that's what people come here for, to hear meat hitting a hot griddle. I think that's why they watch these videos. I don't know. FYI, this recipe will be linked below. Flip our taters. It's been about 10 minutes, but we'll still spread them thin. Then after a few, we'll move the taters out of the way again and add some more of that bacon up and bring out the pre-cut Brussels sprout halves, which I got from Kroger. Add some Mike Lowry's, seasoned salt, pepper, then give them a toss to get coated in that delicious bacon grease. Now, another great option would be to just do some diced bacon if you'd like to add a third meat to this, but I really like the bacon up and I had it on hand, so it's easy to use. Spread the Brussels sprouts thin, then here comes our pre-cut peppers. I actually went in to just get the Brussels sprouts already cut, and then I saw the peppers and was like, I wonder how much of this meal I can do without having to cut stuff with my knife. And here we are. It's been about 5 minutes since we put the steak down, so we'll give it a flip, and yes, I like the look of that. Go down the line, giving everybody a flip and adding some more seasoning to the peppers. After that, I will put my steak on the wire rack. I probably did 5 minutes on the first side, then like 3 minutes on the following side. It's okay if it's undercooked a little bit. We're going to cut it up into cubes and throw it back on the griddle at the end. For now, it's resting. I'm putting my sausage down right where the steak was. That's meat on meat. Now we're real cowboys, huh? I'm just kidding. I'm the furthest thing from a cowboy. I grew up in Ohio. Only time I've seen a horse is when a cop was on it and he was asking me how much I drank outside of a college football game. Once the sausages are spread out thin, we'll do a flyover because I think it looks pretty. Flip them sausages. They got a little color. That's okay. Color means flavor. At least that's what I tell my wife when she asks if I burnt them. Can of sweet corn going down. Now we're getting real Ohio with it. Season that up. I moved the sausages over with the sprouts and taters. Now that burner is on low. Just kind of going to be my dump zone as I finish cooking things. I want them to stay warm over there but not continue to cook. I'm putting my mushrooms down right where both the meats were in that like fond and drippings that are still there. These are towards the end because they cook pretty fast. So you can switch up and use whatever veggies you like for this meal. Just try to remember to put them down whatever takes the longest first and whatever takes the shortest amount to cook last. The mushrooms and corn are pretty much done, so we'll grab our steak, which has been resting for 10 minutes, and we'll cut it straight on the griddle. Oh yeah, now it's a stir fry. Look, I'm going to open up my own Japanese cowboy steakhouse called the Benihana Bonanza. This is my first time cutting something right on the griddle. It didn't seem to mess up the seasoning, but I'm going to try it a few more times. I'll let you know if it does anything bad. Everything is done now, so remove that little rack and cut off the heat. There's plenty of residual heat while I add the sauces and mix everything back together. 2 tablespoons of the Big W, 2 tablespoons of pickled jalapeno juice, which CJ from Blackstone does this, and I was a little skeptical, but it actually turned out real well. Then half a cup of Italian dressing. Give everything a healthy mix with 2 spatulas. If you don't use 2 spatulas, are you really even griddling? Then we'll put it all on a long white plate I bought just to impress people on the internet who I've never met before. Now look, I know a lot of you saw the white bowl from my bacon fried corn video, but wait until you see this rectangular white plate. It is a showstopper. This was fantastic, definitely in my 101 top griddle meals.
I saw Matt Pittman from Meat Church do this sandwich over an open flame, and I thought, well, I got a griddle, maybe I'll try it on that. And it did not disappoint. I would highly recommend trying it. I got my chicken thighs in a bag, got my beer, and these are some pickled jalapenos. That's it, man. All you do is put these. I found these at Walmart, by the way. I was at Meijer, and I couldn't find them. And then I found them at Walmart. And then you just add the whole jar into the bag. Oh, they smell so good. I love jalapenos. It's just the big boy, the 26 ouncer. See if you can see that there, the big dog. It's got some carrots in there too. It's like some onions or maybe it's celery. I don't know, I can't tell because it was all pickled. Oh, these are whole jalapenos. Hopefully you can see the whole jalapenos going in this bag. So let's go ahead, get as much air out as we can. Oh boy. Take a load off Fanny. I'm singing the band today a lot for some reason. And there it is. There's the chicken thighs with the jalapenos. And give it a little mix around there. He said we're just going to do this for, he said 4 to 24 hours. Depending on how hot you want it. He said if you go 24, it gets pretty hot. We're having people over like noon tomorrow. It's like 10 o'clock right now. Just cooking and drinking while everybody else is asleep. So yeah, I'll probably go 12 hours, about half. Cook these up on the griddle tomorrow with our guests, and then make this amazing looking sandwich. Couldn't be any easier, especially if you just bought the thighs without skin on them. That would have been a lot easier. What are you gonna do? So Pittman at Meat Church, Matt Pittman, who owns Meat Church, did this on a grill. But I was like, hey, I got a griddle. Let's give this a shot. First, we're gonna put down the butter, and then we're gonna add some hot sauce to it. This is a 5-ounce jar of Cholula and about 3 tablespoons of butter. This is a little less than he used, FYI, but I don't think I'm gonna need that much. And my wife's not gonna want Tabasco or hot sauce on hers. Slide this bad boy over here onto the warming rack. It'll keep melting the butter and cooking down. I just don't want it to bubble and burn or anything. And when it gets close to the end, I'll move it off and make sure it's all mixed together. Okay, here's the chicken after it's spent a night in the jalapeno brine, I guess. Everything that was in there, super simple. This is why I wanted to do this recipe. It looks so simple. Figured might as well try it on the griddle. So I'm gonna pop this chicken on here and then we will just cook it. Let's see what temp we're at first. I wanna be around like 375, 4, maybe a little higher. Got my new handy dandy dual threat thermometer, so that's going to be able to probe it, and also I can scan it. Let me show you. Pretty cool. This is from Therm Pro. We'll see how I like it. I'll do a review once I've had it for a while. Okay, that's at 382. So let's see if I can flip it this way, make it easier. No, that's definitely upside down for you guys. That's not really going to work. 390, 415. I like where we're at here. Okay, initial thoughts on the thermometer. Works great. Not very good for filming. But not as good as the little gun, but serves both purposes. It does 2 things for me. So, but you know, for you at home, you're probably not filming yourself every time you cook. Maybe you are. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna season up the chicken. I'm gonna put it out here right on a sheet pan, and then we're going to hit it up with some fajita seasoning, which is what Matt used. I do not have his. I'm sorry. I've had his before. It's very good. I just don't have it on me. I got some like Blackstone fajita seasoning. Probably the same difference. All right, they're seasoned up, ready to go. Let's put down a little bit of oil and throw these bad boys on the griddle. And we're also definitely going to be putting these jalapenos on here and trying to get a little bit of a char on them. We are not letting these bad boys go to waste. Ooh, buddy, look at them jalapenos. Here is our sauce. Drizzle this on a little bit. Let's give these bad boys a flip, see what we're looking at. All right, I like our start here. I like our start here. 2 at once. Oh boy. Jalapenos. Ooh, we're getting some char on those too. Yep, buddy. Nice. Back to the chicken. Nice. Nice. Okay. I threw the carrots down too, just for S's and G's, just to see what would happen with those. Jalapenos are coming along real nice. Just gonna roll everybody over here. Should have got another pair of tongs for this, but the first pair is all chickeny, so they are done for the day. Now what everybody came to see. Brush that Cholula right on there. Yeah. All right, they're coming along real well. I'm gonna go ahead and flip all these one more time and kind of just start temping them, see where we're at. Maybe toast up a bun, build one of these sandwiches, give it a try, let you know what I think. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this left side off. We're almost at temp. This can all go off, I think, now. And then up here in the front is where I'm gonna do this bun. But I'm just gonna do this with some mayo. Come on. Toast it up and then we'll build a sandwich and see how it goes. We're doing this in the front too, because even though I turned it off down here, off, everything's off. This is gonna be so hot. I can't imagine how quickly this bun's gonna toast. Oh, getting there. Let's do one last flip and temp these things, and then we'll put some cheese on them. Oh yeah, we got a good char right now. Jalapenos are looking good. Nope. Got the bottom of my bun dirty. Uh-oh. Clean spatula. Okay, let's see. Temp here. Looking at the bottom number, 140. That's not enough, but I don't think I got it in there all the way. 150. Need to get to 165. Oh, okay. Yeah. I actually usually go above 165 on chicken thighs, 170. They can handle it. I think it's fine to run them up pretty high. We're in the 70s. On breast, I would pull it right at 160 and let it rise to 165. 170. Okay, let's get some cheese. He used cheddar. I mean, this feels like a buffalo chicken sandwich to me, so I would have probably used something white, but I'm trying to follow his recipe. I'm sure it'll still be delicious. All right, let's build this thing. I'm just gonna use mayo. And then I'm gonna split open one of these jalapenos. Like that. Like that. Flatten that bad boy out on there like so. Probably could do another one, but we're gonna take it easy just in case this comes in hard and a little bit hot. Here comes the chicken. Nice. And the top bun, which also got a little dirty.